would like to just start off tonight, just really, really just starting off talking about how certain animals have impacted us, whether it's in dreams or just however it has happened in your life. And I think that's a really good way to start off, because anything that we do spiritually is going to be individual. It's an individual impact that we can share, and then we typically find people that resonate with that as well. So I don't know if Innovision, would you like to kick us off for tonight, as far as any animals that have impacted you in your life, and we can just go from there. Is that okay?
Thank you, Chris. Welcome, brothers and sisters. It's an honor to be amongst you tonight. This silent night, right, Vinny? Personal experiences, animals, my goodness, we see them every day. We wake up to the song of birds. As sweet as it is, it doesn't matter if it's a rooster or if it's a cockatoo. How sweet the sound. Reminding us that it is daytime. Right, that's what they sing about. Many messages are passed along through animals. One of my experiences was when I was so alone and so utterly broken that I reached out. And it was a dog that came to me, the biggest dog I could never imagine was just automatically or suddenly in my presence. And he threw himself upon me, and the weight of him overshadowed everything that I ever thought was it. I surrendered, and I hugged him as much as he hugged me. We embraced each other, and then he reminded me of all the love that he ever had, and all the love that I ever had in a moment. He didn't leave me alone. For 3 days, he always wanted to be with me. I found his home. I found where he came from, and I returned him, of course, with honor and grace and gratitude. Forever thankful. His name was Maximum. He's awesome. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. That was an amazing story. You know, animals have that sense of when people just need that energy that they have. And it's just, when you go into nature, when you're aware of that, you just see it coming all the time. But I really appreciate you, Innovision. Fire Ash, would you like to speak upon any animals, creatures that have impacted you in your life on a spiritual level?
So I am currently holding my kitty cat because she is co-hosting with me tonight. She has decided that she would like for us to start off with her story, which is sweet. So we'll start off with hers. We're looking at roughly over a year ago, so it was somewhere about a year and a half, something like that. It's going through some pretty big energy waves, was processing the start of the energy waves of the shift from the age, when it shifted into the age of Aquarius and all that. The massive energy waves we've been dealing with. But I had a dream. And I was here in this city, but I was in a strange place. It wasn't our house. But my youngest, she left and was riding her scooter. And I watched her turn the corner, and then I heard tires screech and a cry in the dream. And then it was her crying out, "Mom." So I, of course, woke up very much so, startled, but something felt just so different. It was just weird about that dream. I knew it couldn't be, a premonition dream because that wasn't our house, kind of thing. But the very next morning, my youngest went out with her friends to play and came back with, lo and behold, this little thing that had been hit by a car. Now, she instantly bonded with my youngest as a familiar, and then as soon as she handed her to me, I felt the bond and the connection as well, which was a new experience for me because I had never felt a familiar family bond with a familiar like that happen at the same time like that. And she then furthermore shocked and awed me by a few hours later connecting with my oldest daughter. So she is connected with both myself and my children as a familiar. And she helps me stay grounded. She helps me connect with the goddess that sent her to us. And many, many other things that she's a great aid and loving, amazing kitty cat. She also helps me remember to be patient. So, yeah, that's my first story about creatures. Mwah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We have animals, and there's like a different attachment to each individual one. And between the dogs and the cats, and they, like, just the purring from a cat is very healing, for both. And the reason I say that, they're purring for a reason, because they're expressing their love, which means they're in the love emotion, and they're also producing that, and we're absorbing it. So it's a nice exchange. It's a very nice exchange. Rabanus, would you like to speak about any animals that have impacted you in your life?
Yeah, I have a lot. Mythical, spiritual goddesses, I guess you want to call them, Japanese ones. Ghosts. So the first animal that I've ever felt a connection with, in general, were dogs, but wolves, canines, I should say. Wolves in general. I've always felt a connection with them. whether they be in a pack or just a lone wolf. This majestic, noble creature, you know, very. I see them as very studious. Not studious. I'm sorry. What's that word? Just with an S. Stoic. You know, doing everything they can for their family. You know, so they can all survive. And yeah. I guess that's be my first thing. Second thing that I've noticed that's been in my apartment recently. Actually, it's been around me for more than that. It's just gotten stronger recently, I guess. Is a cat. A black cat that runs around in my kitchen and knocks things over. One time I was like looking at a box and you can see the shadow of it, like jumping at the box and knocking it over in front of my own eyes. And sometimes I do feel like a presence, like when I'm sleeping, like in like a small cat, like a normal sized cat, like curled up on the bottom of my feet. And I think maybe that's my spirit familiar. Don't know its name. Maybe one day I'll name it. That's it for now.
Thank you. It sounds like you've had a lot of connections, and I know that you spend a lot of time connecting with what we can call the other side and perception. So I'm really interested in hearing about the mythical creatures later. But Shade, are you in a state where you can talk about any animals that have impacted you in your life? Whether it's
Yeah, so
okay,
so I was
perfect.
wondering, do you want to hear a dream, a mythical creature experience, or a like my favorite animal experience, like to experience and observe?
Well, I think everybody's kind of talked about like their favorite experiences so far, and then we'll probably get more into mythical afterwards. So how about we save that story for the next round?
All right. So my story is when I was a little kid, there was this monkey called a lion monkey, and they're called that because they're like orange and they got like a lion's mane of orange around their head. And I was walking around. I was probably like 6 years old or something like that, and I sat down at this bench, and the monkey came up and sat on my shoulder. And people were getting pictures and stuff. It was pretty cool. I don't know how the monkey got out and how it was in there, but it was nice. It liked me. It saw my red hair and just thought I was his brother or something. So that's my story. So like
Was
maybe
that at a zoo or?
yeah, it was at a zoo.
Okay, that's awesome. I didn't know if I missed that part.
You ever been to Omaha?
I've been to quite a few zoos. I've never had any type of monkey come and sit on my shoulder though. That must have been
Yeah. And I was
must have
6
been
years
an
old. So I
awesome
thought it was the
experience.
coolest thing ever, dude. I wasn't thinking it was gonna hurt me. I was like, this is awesome.
That sounds awesome. So
But this lady told me not to move or touch it, so I didn't move or touch it.
gotcha. Well, I appreciate that. How'd that make you feel? I mean, you said you were 6?
Yeah,
Okay.
I felt awesome. You know, like animals love me. I want to go to the zoo every day and meet this animal. I was like, he's my pet.
Well, that's amazing. Well, I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go into your mythical story on the next round. I mean, I'll speak up for myself. I've had many pets in my life, and every pet that I've ever had, even reptiles, which is like for me it was turtles, and I've had some. I've never had an iguana, which I always wanted, but I have had a gecko before. like I've always had a certain, you just create these bonds, and it's you get to know them, they get to know you, and it creates um, it it really helps you in these times that we need it. So, for instance, before I even had a family, I always had family, and my family was what I created in my life, and a lot of that was pets. I had a lot of golden retrievers growing up, and they have a lot of personality. I've noticed, and we just you can almost have conversations with them, and they can tell you kind of what they're thinking by their facial expressions. It's really cool. It's just something that I've always loved, and I plan on having another golden retriever again, but in good timing. But so I've had a few that, in my darkest times, those pets are what really helped me get through it. Um, Sometimes I felt like it was just the fact of the responsibility of them is what also gave me some type of motivation to keep going. Now I've had incidents where, for instance, I remember I was in the woods one time meditating, and I felt something touch my foot. It was a snake. I jumped up, startled myself, ran, and within probably 3 seconds later, a branch fell and landed exactly where I was sitting. So, like, I still get startled by snakes, because at that point, that was that lesson, or that was that movement that I needed for whatever reason. Like, these divine things happen all the time, and a lot of times we're just not even aware of it. And a lot of animals are there to give you that message, however it is that it's supposed to be. I mean, we don't give animals enough credit for how conscious they really are. Like, there's a video going around, it's about a deer that literally stands in front of the road until somebody follows it, and they follow it quite a while until they get to a baby deer, a little fawn that is stuck in the fence. It takes quite a bit of intelligence to be able to do that and communicate without any type of language. It just shows that there's a lot there are a lot more conscious beings than we give them credit for. And the more you spend time with animals, the more you just become aware of that. So on this next round, I would like to talk about, mythical creatures or even spirit animals, something that has been something that's constantly happened in your life, and it doesn't happen daily, but you can reflect back and see certain moments. For me, it's always been hawks as far as spiritual animals. I've had it really, like, kind of what I can call majestic encounters with deer, where I've actually pet a couple before in my life. But it's always been hawks. So most of the areas that I used to meditate in nature, and it still is in a couple of areas that I live now, but it just seems like the hawks would show up and sometimes land within 5 feet of me and just sit there. And it was always felt like just an energy exchange per se for me, but it was always that sense of when they were there, things were actually going the way they were supposed to in my life, and I wasn't. I was letting my ego, letting things that I thought I should be doing in my life kind of take control. So it was a lot of times it was telling me the things that I'm envisioning in the moment while I'm meditating, that's the path I should be taking. And those were the messages I used to get. But I would like to pass it on to Innovision and talk about his experiences, what he's had. So, are you ready, Innovision?
Thank you, brother. You mentioned hawks. And I know that we will all resonate with that bird of prey. We will recognize it and honor it. We will pause, we'll stop walking, we'll stop talking, things like this. Because in the presence of something that is already there in their own way, we recognize where we are. Not that we're lacking or without, we just recognize where we are with them in that moment. And we pay attention. You know, the hawk sees far. It sees things that we don't. It knows what to do about things because it sees it coming from miles and miles away. We can relate that to where we are in any present moment that we breathe. And we suddenly and humbly bow down our own ambitions, our own way of thinking for that moment. Whether it's just a recognition of what we don't know, or a recognition of where we want to be. And we ready ourselves in a moment. We just get ready. It feels good to get ready, doesn't it? Every morning, brushing our teeth, brushing our hair. Whatever it is you do to get ready, it feels good. And that hawk, you know, it reminds us it is already ready. It's already there. What are we doing? What are you doing? That's what it's asking of all of us. And it demands respect, yes. And if you feel that it is not a demand, maybe a question, I would ask you, why are you still questioning it? Yes, the hawk is very prevalent in my life, in my way. Thank you.
You can stay. It's my turn next. So, as my Roby and my love before me, of course, I connect with the hawk. Those that have been around for a while have maybe heard the story of when I was little connecting with the hawk's sight and seeing through its eyes. And those that are close know that I still connect with the hawk almost on a daily basis. So I have a high level of love and respect. Hold on one moment. His mom. Okay, thank you.
Wait, I remember where they are.
So for me, that's one that it needs not like
Luna, we're in the car.
pretense. The hawk has been one of my main spiritual creature guides all my life. The hawk, the fox, the dolphin, the horse. Going to take a short intermission.
You're fine. So obviously somebody's leaving the driveway, so it's gonna get a little loud for a second. So I'm not gonna go to anybody else though, because I know she's not finished. So there's a lot of birds, just in particular birds, that carry these messages. Like, For instance, cardinals, blue jays, crows, hummingbirds. So, are you ready?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm
Okay.
right there with you. Like,
Go ahead.
there are. And you and my love, y'all, and Rubanus, y'all seen it happen where I've literally been talking to you and the birds decide to have a whole congregation, and I have cardinals and I have blue jays and I have sparrows and I have robins and I have crows and I have ravens, and they're all chasing the hawk and the owls, and it's just like there's a whole symphony of it going on. So yeah, in spiritual form and spiritual context, I'm going to segue with that. I first fell in love with a little phoenix that was a misbegotten friend of my first spiritual friend in this plane, Mitri. She was a earth elemental spirit, but she had a very unfortunate string of circumstances happen that she made this phoenix friend. It was amusing, it was awesome. I was little. So I fell in love with the phoenix. In the strangest of ways to start off. Just, yeah, listening to the stories and the antics of Mitri and her friend. So, that was kind of where I was going with that. And before I completely, jump into the full-on mystic, I do want to, pay a little respect to the goat, because yeah, I'm not kidding. Goats have strangely always been there when I needed them the most. And when I was 13, my coming of age kind of birthday thing, my godfather, he gave me a pet goat, and his name was Pascal. Now when I say that goat was emotionally intelligent, I mean it. He understood when you weren't cool with him, he wasn't cool with you, and he let you know about it. But if you were good to him, he was amazing. He was smart. He was well behaved. He would literally go and ring a bell on the door handle to let you know he needed to go out and use the restroom. Like, he was a great companion to have. And hey, you couldn't ask for a better hiking buddy. I'm just saying. So, one more shout out to the goats, because they're awesome. But yeah, we'll go back into the actual topic of the mythical creatures. In this round, you were asking about them. And I would say that it segued first into the phoenix, and then from there I met the Heyoka Thunderbird god. So that was my first two very big, impactful spiritual creatures. Yeah, they were both, as you would figure, very freedom-based. And I loved flight. So I will say that the Hiyaka god, when I met him originally the first time, it was shock and awe and horror to a degree because I didn't really understand, and he has a very, very massive spiritual presence. So, yeah. That thunder went to my toenails. That took me a lot of years to process. But that's it. I relinquished the mic.
Well, thank you. As usual, I appreciate everything you say, and your experiences are amazing. You have a really nice way of explaining it because you visualize it so well. And a lot of people, in the moments, like for myself, sometimes are just foggy until I really get back into thinking about it. So I appreciate that. Urbanus, would you like to speak about spiritual animals, or I know you're like mythical animals, whichever one you want to speak about, and just the mic's yours.
Okay. Well, spiritual animal would be wolf, but then also the crow. They've always been around me ever since I was a teenager. Like hordes of them. They were just, I was sitting outside and then they just like show up. I'm not sure it's because we're all black all the time. Like, hey, what's up, guy? Like, you know, like one of their friends or within their murder, I should say. Oh, that's crows. Oops. But yeah, Raven, then that's what my name means. It means Raven. And as it comes to mythical creatures, well, I don't even know if you can call them a mythical creature nowadays. Dragons. I'm more spiritual and real life.
No, don't throw the myth on that one for me.
Yeah, it's like, because I've seen them, like with my own eyeballs once, like on a stormy night. So yeah, let's wait until, I don't know, whenever, maybe next round. I'm gonna talk about the dragons and my dragon, things of that nature. But crows, definitely, they've always hung around me, always cawing at me, always like, hey, hey. That's what I feel like they're saying. Like I can feel that. I'm just like, hey, hey. I don't know how to caw, so I don't ever do it back. I probably should learn one day. Now, I don't know if that's a mystical creature either. And no, it's not. It's a deity. I was going to say Bast because that was the first Egyptian legend.
Look.
Sorry.
Don't worry about the mythical. Drop the mythical altogether. It's spiritual creatures.
Spiritual
Go
creatures.
to the spiritual aspect. Yeah.
Spiritual aspect. I've always felt a connection with crows and corvids in general. So, crows and ravens. So yeah, that's it. I relinquish the mic. I yield. Oh, the stop. That's cool.
Before you completely yield the mic, Urbanus, have you ever heard of the legend, the Crow Man? The one that he literally is like a man crow cryptid.
Well, I haven't. Crow Man, no.
I have.
Interesting. Would that be like what are they called? Avid or avian? Like one of those bird aliens, or like Horus, like a crow head with a man's body, all black.
It has wings as well.
Oh, nice. You'll have to look that up. I'll definitely do that.
I've seen it in depictions of it, and yeah, it's exactly what Ash was saying. It's considered a crow man, and It was kind of like Batman, but it has more of a crow features and more feathered wings, and um, it's really interesting. I actually forgot about that until you said that.
Interesting.
Shade?
So,
Oh, sorry. We'll get back to the. I know you have a lot to talk about dragons, and I understand, like, even when we talk about certain mythical creatures, like, there's evidence from ancient times that these things existed. So some of them are harder to dig up, some of them are in plain sight everywhere. But Shade, would you like to talk about you said you had a dream that was
Oh,
about
you may
mythical
talk about my
creatures?
dream? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and whatever else you would like to add to it, of course. Thank you.
So my dream, I became a werewolf. Like I was green. That was like my color and stuff. I had green and like grayish white and stuff like that. And I was huge. I was like bigger than police SUVs because the police were using pew-pews on me. And then I ended up going back to the base, and there was like literally other werewolf people there talking to me. It was pretty cool. That wasn't the only dream I had. There was another dream where I like was protecting one of my friends from a shadow, and I turned into a werewolf to fight the shadow. So that was my dream.
That's pretty interesting. I
Listen to it, or just you, Chris?
is anybody else what? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Does anybody
I
else
didn't
want? Does anybody else want to say anything about it? Like, has anybody else ever thought like you?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask if anybody had any questions about your dream. I've personally had dreams about werewolves. I was gonna make a joke and say that I was a police officer one time, but that's not true. It was just gonna be a joke, but I have had dreams about werewolves and vampires, and a lot of that was, you know, due to I was reading a lot about it. But it's really interesting seeing that very vividly in your dreams, though, because and when you start having communications. So I've personally had a lot of dreams about mermaids because for some reason in my dreams I like to explore the oceans, and like I'm a fish, and I go deep into the oceans and I explore all kinds of things, which I've came in my dreams with mermaids that they've talked to me and gave me messages and like gave me pointers and point in times that I was in my life, you know. So our dreams, they bring a lot of things out. It's pretty amazing. But yeah, I would like to actually go more on to what we consider spiritual creatures to, you know, what society likes to chalk up as mythical creatures. Because there's so many people that have had so many encounters on these different beings. I mean, from dragons to phoenixes to griffins, werewolves, Bigfoot, you know, fairies even, you know, mermaids, vampires, cyclops, gnomes, leprechauns, like all these different cultures have had these. I mean, even when we get down to giants and Sphinx and like Medusa, like these things, there's so many depictions of them in ancient times of them literally painting a picture of kind of what they've experienced, and we're just trying to translate what that experience is. So, in Envision, would you like to talk about some encounters you've had, maybe in some dreams or through meditation, or just any type of experience, or just talk about like your favorite spiritual creature or mythical creature?
The word creature. It incites thought. It provokes a sense of the unknown. We often see these creatures as that which we don't understand. So we call them a creature. Creepy and crawly things. We often associate them to the dark side. A myth is something that is untangible. It is a belief, a story of existence that once was. I've come to know myself in ways that could be described as a creature. But I would love to experience that creature feature, the one that makes me question myself in ways that I would only have to act. If I was face to face with one of those mythical creatures, what would I do? They are very intelligent. It is true they can smell you. They can smell us. They can feel us. They know our intention. Way before we even think about how to act or react. The vibration they hold is purity itself. Because they already know how to take care of themselves. They know how to live, how to be free. And yes, they come in many shapes and sizes and aspects of how we perceive things. And it is, as we are, love that binds us all together. Purpose is what drives these creatures, just as it drives us. I would love to have the opportunity to tell you a story, yes. But I wouldn't want to waste your time. Thank you.
Well, we have plenty of time. So, how about this? You have the option, you could tell her right now, or I'm just going to come back to you because I'm intrigued.
Right, I want a story. Please.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah, we're Inhibition. If you would like, would you please continue with the story? Because I think we all want to hear. Please.
I will, of course, pull a verbiage from a movie that I once held dear. It was a night, just like tonight, when I was walking afoot, searching for a way to get to where I was going. I knew what bus number it was. I knew what time the bus would be there. I also recognized that the night was quiet, eerily quiet. It wasn't the kind of quiet that we're used to. It was to the effect of a numbness of quietness. And yet I continued, I walked. I knew that if I got there in time, and it's obvious, of course, by now, that I would be okay. As I was walking, there was an abandoned mill, a silo, and we called it the Silos, peppered with graffiti art and broken dreams. There was a wailing, such as the wailing the wind would make if it would fall through tempered glass. It brought my attention and awareness to it, and I saw a light. It was a light. As soon as I saw it, it figured itself as a person, as a figure of a person that I do not know or recognize. It was just light. And it was pointing at me. His finger, you can tell his finger was drawn out, pointing at me. And that beam extended from his finger to mine. I did not feel scared. I felt welcomed in every way. Just to keep going at your pace. This is, in essence, to me, a creature. Because it was unknown to me what it was exactly. They spoke nothing. They had no movement other than their finger pointing at me. I kept walking in the night. Knowing that I would be where I wanted to be. It granted me a sense of accomplishment, that which I have not already accomplished, but I have. And then it flew away as I turned my back to it, as I came across that precipice where there was no turning back. Flew, not with wings, but with a flash. With no sound. And I made it to that bus stop. And that bus was there. The people on that bus were so friendly. They welcomed me in, allowed me to sit with them. Merrily, merrily. Thank you.
Thank you, my love.
Thank you. You've always had that story voice anyway, so it brings a good impact on it. I think Vinny mentioned it in the comments, and he's right. So you articulate certain things which helps the others' minds absorb it so much easier. I just wanted to say that because I appreciate that. The story is beautiful regardless. But it's just so much easier to absorb it and be receptive when it's articulated properly. So, thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to Fire Ash and let you speak about spiritual creatures. I'm not going to say mythical creatures, we'll say spiritual creatures that you've either encountered in dreams, meditation, here in the now, just whatever.
Okay. So, I'm really, really super intrigued by these two recent ones. So when I say the Sphinx is very interesting because I didn't understand visually looking at him. I didn't recognize him as what I thought of when I heard that word Sphinx, you know? And I literally looked at this dragon that I knew, and this is recent dream occurrence, and was like, perchance do you know what that entity there is? And the Sphinx looked at me and very graciously told me, oh, I'm a Sphinx. And it was probably one of the coolest encounters I've had in a long time. Just that whole interaction. And the other one is a very, picture like one of the heavy muscled black war horses kind of thing. And I don't know what to call him, but he's like a Pegasus with ram horns. And he is freaking massive. Like, to see him standing next to a dragon, I was actually perplexed at his size next to a dragon. So, yeah. those are my two like most recent ones, and I'm kind of just getting to know them from my typical observational standpoint. um, not really. Yeah, I always kind of sit back and listen in and watch before engaging, so that way I can make sure I'm not reacting and properly responding to the situations, you know. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to have more interaction. That's what I got right now, Chris.
Thank you. And I agree. Like, we have to really be cautious of our reactions to any encounters that we might have, whether it's animals in nature. You know, they are sensing an energy. It's an energy exchange for them. That is their language for the most part. And if it's fear driven, they're going to sense that. They're going to react upon fear on a natural state, just like we would naturally act upon the same energy. So my encounters with any paranormal has been the same way. I thought things were evil until I encountered them in a different energy and realized they weren't. It was a reflection of my own energy, the same energy exchange and reaction. And I've noticed that in my dreams with some of these creatures that we've talked about, like that's what happened, and it turned into a nightmare because it was fear driven by myself. So I agree 100%. Rabanus, would you like to speak about? I know you've encountered dragons and possibly others that I'm pretty sure we've talked about before in meditations and dreams, and so you're able to actually visualize things with your eyes open, where a lot of people can't in meditation, and it's really awesome. Because, anyways, I'll let you explain.
Yes, thank you. I meditate sometimes with my eyes open. It's like a spiritual film. It's sort of like seeing something in your mind, but your eyes turn to a movie screen that's close. So on my travels, I've seen plenty of creatures, deities who are animal-like, aliens. Like what it looks like what you have there is either like a lion or a lion, a were-lion. And I want to talk about a spiritual side of a lot of things, but one of the first things I want to talk about is lycanthropy, or lichens, werewolves, and their energy. They feel as real to me as a person standing next to me. And you can draw on that energy if you have the correct, I guess, lineage. I don't know. I'm not sure how it works, truthfully. If you're just interested in them, then for some reason you're just interested in them. And that gives you access to that energy, and you can almost wear it like a cloak or a cowl, actually, where like the wolf head comes over your face and body feels stronger and lighter and faster. You know, like a cowl of energy. I haven't used it in some years now, but last time I did, I was at a hotel for work, and it was a full moon outside. I felt this energy. I just could not sit down. So I decided to go in the back and jump around again a little bit, run around the block, you know, get myself tired. Didn't get tired, you know. And then there was this hill. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna jump down this hill. So the first attempt, I felt like I was flying. And they got it on video too. So apparently I could do Michael Jordan jumps, you know. And I jumped down this hill, and I didn't know the landing, because I didn't check the landing, was wet. And I slipped and fell. I was like, ah. I got up immediately. I was like, look, do it again. That wasn't great. Did it the second time, the same call energy, and landed perfectly. Superhero landing. And people at they were watching me all over the, you know, over the security cam, CCTV. You know, of course, you know, there's this crazy guy running around and acting crazy, jumping around and stuff. Until they saw that, they're like, "Holy snap! You want to see it? Look!" But anyways, that was one of the last times that I actually used that energy, and I believe that they're definitely real, like dog men or wolf men, just like the Sasquatch. Spiritual beings, definitely dragons, and real. Like I said, I saw one once. It was a stormy night. I was a security guard, just walking around doing my rounds. And I felt something. I looked up to the sky, it was cloudy, and I saw an image of a black dragon. Well, it was shadows, so I don't know what color it was, but I immediately saw it as a black dragon. It just flew right overhead. You know, arms. No, actually, it didn't have any arms. It just had wings. It had legs and wings that I can see. I didn't know if they were tucked in because it looked like a shadow. These cool horns, you know. And then as I got older, I realized that I felt that I would have dreams about that black dragon. And I'll come to know it as my dragon. It's female dragon, black. Purplish, reddish wings. Or the skin in between, anyway. And it's a beautiful being. I met her family, like other dragons. Met her very good friend who was a rainbow dragon. But I met the rainbow dragon in human form as I met her. I don't know her name, so don't ask. I think she tried to tell me once, but I just couldn't understand it. It was like a screech. But you would think it would be like English, but whatever. And, you know, I would hang out with her in my dreams and meditation. You know, skinny black girl. Kind of gothy looking. That's the visions that she took. The rainbow dragon, which was a very good friend, was a kind of chubby white girl with like rainbow hair. Very cool looking. Very bright clothes. Yeah, and to this day I still dream about her and see her once in a while. Not as much anymore though. which is interesting. Not in several months. My mind has been, I guess, elsewhere. I'm not sure if everyone else is feeling this change. I'm sure they are. But yeah, it's definitely been taking up a lot of my mind and spiritual energy. Did you have any questions? Anyone? Oh, and that's a Wendigo, by the way. Something I saw in the woods spiritually that hangs out at a certain person's place. Oh, that's hilarious. But yeah.
I have a question. Because you do have a wonderful gift. The only time that I'm able to really project things out, for some reason, for a long time while I'm driving, I've always been able to visualize like an aerial view kind of around corners. And I developed it when I was racing motocross when I was young. And it kind of carried over to driving vehicles. So the way that you do that, I just have curious if you're able to see other people's dragons.
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah. One recently came to me in that live out of nowhere. It was a big purple dragon. I can't remember the lady's name. Either way, yeah. And it had a counterpart with it, so it must have been her husband or something. I don't know. But yeah, I can see sometimes other people's dragons and tell the color and things of that nature. It's just your foresight is very good. Like it's like more of like it's like an astral projection clairvoyance. Because I don't think you only just see the what's around the corner, no, what's the corner itself, but you see actually what's there, before you get there. So that's cool, man. That's a really cool ability.
Yeah, it usually plays out that way. I have my off days, just like anybody really.
Indeed.
But yeah, it's actually it's allowed me to make certain decisions, like slow down, because I've actually seen a dog in the road around a corner before, and I slowed down, and it was, and I feel like I could have hit it with the speed I was going. So, but I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any questions for Rabanus as far as what he's been speaking about this round? Or anything to just add to? I didn't see any mics. Shade, would you like to talk about, I know you spoke about your dream about werewolves, but have you had any other encounters with mythical creatures, or just have like a favorite one? Go ahead.
I met a chupacabra when I was driving to my brother's house. It happened in Iowa, so I didn't know there was chupacabra in Iowa, but I guess there is. They slow down time. They move faster.
Can you try to describe, like,
what it looked like?
Yeah, thank you.
So I'll just turn it on and show you. That's what it looks like. It looks like those ones. Its eyes glow white. I don't know if that's because I have my lights on in my car, but it looked like a divine type of white light, like it was a creature from an angel or something like that, like created by a deity or something. I don't think these creatures just come into existence. I think they're created by something, maybe a lab. Aliens or something.
Yeah, or interdimensional, possibly.
Yeah.
So, Ash, I remember you showing me a picture of something. Is that similar to what he's talking about?
The fire ash, right?
Yeah, I don't know if she's there.
Yeah, I'm here. Oh, sorry.
No, you're
That's-
fine.
I was away. I'll say it in this context. I mean, it's equivalent, like vibrationally, very much so equivalent to. They're able to utilize the same energy transference of matter in their form, so they're able to utilize the same dimensional portal system. So, not going to sit here and say, yeah, they're one and the same, but the cryptoids and that nature. Have you ever heard of the Earthians as well, like the actual native Earth species that interdwell and such? Same concept, you know? And they're all basically have already achieved what we're doing right now. They're all on the other side of this.
Okay, I appreciate it. I just remember that picture and it kind of the visualization. I couldn't remember if that's what it was or if it was similar. So I'm not saying bring the picture up because we don't need to go that far. I was just curious.
Oh no, dude. I don't even I don't have easy access to that picture right now anymore. Anyway.
No, you're fine. Is that all you had to? I kind of cut you short because I asked a question. Shade, do you have some more you would like to speak about?
Want me? So I have to go. My friends want me to go play with them and stuff. So.
All right. Well, I appreciate you. I always do. I hope you have a wonderful night, and we'll see you next time.
You gonna drop me, right?
You can. Yeah, I will. I'll try. I'm not very good at this stuff, but you can go ahead and drop. I don't think it really affects anything. So I'm gonna go on to Vinny. He's been trying to get up all night, and he finally got a good connection going on, it looks like. So Vinny, I'm sure you've been here almost all night as far as hearing it, but is there anything you would like to talk about as far as any encounters you've had? Maybe what you consider your spiritual animal? How pets have affected you in your lives? Just anything that you would like to speak about, Vinny. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. They can knock me down, but they can't stop me. So as far as mythical creatures, I do believe in dragons only because when I was looking for a tarot deck, that was the one I was drawn to, which was a dragon oracle deck, which was pretty amazing. But as far as actual encounters, I don't really have too many of those because for me, it's more, I communicate more with animals. So I'll see a lot of random animals and I'm able to talk and communicate with them and they understand me, which is wild. You ever see a dog bark at you and get confused when you start talking to them? It's amazing. So, and animals play a big part of my life. They send me signs and everything. And as far as animals, I truly believe that cats are the way to go. I'm a cat person because my cat is my spirit guide. She tells me when there's things that aren't right in the house, and she was here for a reason. This wasn't originally my cat, but this is the cat I got, and it was at the right time. So it's truly amazing. I love communicating with animals, and that's my experience.
Thank you. I personally love cats too. I was a dog person for a long time, and that was just because I really, like, we never had a cat when I was growing up, and I just wasn't around them. It wasn't until I got in a relationship, and within that relationship, we got a cat to go along with our dog. And of course, I'm like, always tell everybody, that was the coolest cat ever. All cats are cool. It was just my first encounter and my first cat. So, and I've had many since then. So we've had a few, and like even the relationship we're in right now, we have one cat that I'm definitely the second choice. It comes to me for love when nobody else is around. But our other cat, his name's Memphis, and he's always just, yeah, he's purring when he sees you. He just knows that the love's on its way, and it's amazing. So, and same with our dogs. They're just always so excited to see you, greet you, sit right there with you the whole time, wait for you to go to bed before they go to bed. I have one dog that does that every night. It won't even go into the bedroom. It just sits in the living room and waits on me. It's probably looking at me through the window right now because I'm on the front porch. So they're amazing. They're definitely amazing companions. So I appreciate that. And I've personally,
I'm on my second cat, and this cat wasn't originally my cat, but my first cat my wife took down to Georgia. So when that cat passed on, I wasn't there, but I had this cat at the same time, so it was kind of nice.
That's awesome. I was going to talk about dragons because I've personally had dreams about only one dragon, and that dragon said it was just there to protect me, and I remember even asking, like, why have I never seen you before? And it's just told me that you don't ever see anything until you become aware of it and you seek it. So I understood that. So I've pretty much, that's been a reference in my whole life. But it's came to me in my dreams multiple times in different sizes, but it's always been the same color, same eye color. It's white with blue eyes, and it's always had some type of wisdom to tell me in the moments, and that's been recently in the past year. So it's been really in the past year, like there's been a few times where I've almost just quit my job, and it sounds great because we don't need to do that every day of our lives, but there's things you still have to do in this society, of course. So it helped me along my ways of why I'm doing these things in my lives, it was just somebody to talk to in my dreams when I needed to. And it was always really stressful work times whenever it talked to me, and it basically was teaching me how to not allow that energy to affect me, where it's made it a much easier environment for myself when I'm going through those times. And I don't just get guidance from that dragon that I see, I get that guidance from all aspects of different dreams and different ways that I've been transmuting my mind for quite a few years. But we still have that, we just have stuff that gets thrown at us in life, and you just got to be able to dodge it. Not necessarily dodge it. You gotta face it, of course, but face it with grace. I'm getting off topic. I'm sorry. So, I don't know if we should do final thoughts for tonight, or how should we go with this? Does anybody have anything besides just going through final thoughts another story they'd like to get into?
What? Okay. Oh my god.
I'm just asking. I want to make sure.
Okay, go sit down. Go sit down.
I will.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about. Oh my god. There's this dragon. And yes, I know. Me, dragon. But this is like. So this dragon was really cool in a quiet way for me. Like, He was massive. Cloud dragon, right? In the clouds. Massive. But he was super chill. And he was literally just cruising, spreading his wings, flying in the cloud with it. And it was like, it was to me just the coolest experience. There was no overstimulation, there was no abundance of chatter. It was just sacred witnessing him in flight, enjoying spreading his wings. And like, I don't know, dude, the experience of it was just refreshing for me. That's one. I'm gonna step back for a second.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I didn't mean it, like, I wasn't trying to cut things short. We usually do like 3 rounds, and we already have, so I just wanted to see where everybody was at. Does anybody else at the moment have any stories that they'd like to talk about? I know Vinny said he had a question for Ash, but she said she needed to back up for a second, so I don't know if that's a correct time to ask the question at the moment. But Innovision, do you have any stories that you would like to speak about? I know you have hundreds of stories, but at least at the moment, anything that might be about the topic itself?
Thank you, brother. We speak of dragons with a sense of naivety. We all hold a passion for the lore and the ambiance of being in their presence. When we encounter this creature known as our dragon, one thing we realize is that they are a family. They work together. They are not solely with us. They are together in their own sense. With that being said, it is a human, as we are, that would hold our dragon sacred to who we are and the path that we follow. We know they're there. We know that our dragon is with us and will step in if we are unable to. Not to say that we are dependent on our dragon, but to know that that dragon is inside of us. Your dragon is inside of you. My dragon and I, we ride together. It is in flight that we are in complete control of our capacity to live. It is such a freeing feeling to be able to dive deep and to know that when you flap that wing, that rush of energy, that feeling of lift You know exactly what you're capable of. And this is something that our dragon will always remind us of. And I thank everyone for your gifts, for your well wishes, and for your being. And perhaps one day we will meet under the cool blue moon with our dragons. Thank you.
Hey, Intervision. I'm sorry, Vision, actually. What color is your dragon? It seems like it's black but smoky at the same time. These red eyes. But what color is your dragon? If you don't mind.
My dragon is a cool, smoky blue tone with purple entrails around its scales.
Nice.
His
You
eyes are
were
blue.
checking mine out.
Oops. Huh.
Thank you for asking, Ravenous.
And what? You probably guys are together. Fly. Soaring. Thank you guys for the gifts, by the way. Also.
Always, my friend.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for the gifts and the likes and any shares that have been sent out. We really appreciate it. Urbanus, it was your turn anyways to ask you. Do you have any other stories you would like to talk about as far as your encounter with your dragon, or even, I mean, anything at this point that can be considered international and we ourselves are creatures. Like just how Intervision was saying long before the first round, he was talking about how he got to see this creature within himself. I mean, I even think about the opposite effects. Are there animals out there that seek for human experience as well as some type of guide? You know, it could be far-fetched in some cases, but, you know, is there a reason also why there's that connection? Are they seeking something as well as that exchange? Not just me seeking a hawk, is the hawk seeking me as well in the same moment? So it's just, you know, fruit for thought.
That is pretty interesting. Yeah. You know, never actually thought about it from their perspective. Well, other than the actual dragon and other actual like beings that I come in contact with, but not the crows. I don't think the crows are coming around to say hi. But maybe they are. Who knows? Maybe they saw me when I was flying. Like, hey man, what's up? I know that guy. I used to feed them. So. But no, what I wanted to talk about was, can we talk about the deities and the actual aliens that are also, well, I won't call them creatures, but like animalistic, like the witches. Yeah.
I wouldn't. I don't see why not. I mean, it's an umbrella for really. When we talk about spiritual creature, that's a perception, and it can be a human is also within that umbrella and spectrum. So any alien forms at that point, depending on, or I mean, we're talking about spiritual aspects, and in my opinion, anything has its own spiritual aspect and the fractalization of everything. So yes, go ahead.
Oh. As you can see, I have a lion on my picture. I saw it when I was scrying. It was very interesting. Like, very noble and majestic. It seemed like it was a warrior of some sort, but I felt safe when I saw it. Like, and also proud that that could have been me at one point in my existence. You know, like if you ever see a past life, it's like, wow, I was a really good carpenter. Sort of thing. And also, yeah, I mean, we can talk about deities like Bast. And, well, actually, that's not Lyran, that's actually Maha. It's, something angry. Sekhmet's husband. I think they were actual lions. And I think that Bast is one too. Like they were actual aliens. And like maybe Horus was an avian because he has a bird head. But the way I've seen him, it's weird. It's definitely weird because it comes in the human form too. It's weird. Never seen him with a bird head before, only with a helmet. But yeah, there's, the Fox of Nine Tails dragon, which I've seen, not dragon, fox. It's a Japanese, well, yeah, Japanese, Japanese.
Can we open dialogue? Can I open dialogue with you for a second? Okay.
Yes, please.
The kitsune. The kitsune.
Kitsune, thank you.
You can
you should
go in
follow
that direction.
Yeah, you should probably go in that direction.
Me?
It does belong to you.
I mean, since you opened the dialogue and it's there on that, yeah, I recently connected with an entity that is a affiliate to you can find under that terminology. But is a guardian spirit, and very much so is one of the ones connected with the goddess. So when you're looking that up, you'll see those affiliates and understand, like, there's different ones, of course, but that's kind of the branch system.
Like a Pantheon. Yeah, Pantheon. Sort of. Oh,
Well, there's many stories so many stories of these different alien beings that came here and seeded their DNA, and it's just spread out through the seas and even land, and we're a part of that, in my opinion. But there's a lot to get into in that, of course. But yeah, and these stories are amazing. They shine light on a lot of things throughout the universe. But anyways, so do you want to continue? I'm sorry, I think I interrupted you. Ash, I'm sorry.
Oh no, I just opened dialogue with him. It was his turn.
Yeah. Of course, mermaids, fish people, and everything like that. It's just, yeah, I really do think that there are creatures out there that we either being hidden from us, or, well, not from us, but from the general public, and they whoever thinks they're in power and think that the general public isn't ready. Right. Like fairies, for instance. Those things, not things. I'm sorry. Those beings, like you can see them around people sometimes, like little blinks of lights, like just like flashing all around them. And normally you can tell that the person is pretty spiritual. I don't know. Or you can at least open a dialogue. But anyways, that's enough. That's it. Any questions? Theories?
I mean, I got something to kind of piggyback. I mean, a lot of people that channel also channel some of these beings that are from other areas in the universe, and they make that well known, though, like that they're not necessarily in a higher dimension, but they're more of on another part of the universe where they can't physically be here, but they can still communicate, which is really, really, really interesting to me. So I'd like to go to Vinny. I know Vinny had a question, and also use that opportunity to, speak about anything else you would like to speak about. I know you said you didn't really have many, encounters with like mythical creatures, but anything else that you would like to talk about though with this. But go ahead and ask your question. Take that opportunity as well.
Okay, yeah. So my question is for you, Ash, if you have time. So I don't do much dreaming, but I did have a dream that I do remember. It stuck with me for a little bit. It was with my wife, who I'm separated with now, and we were in a place somewhere, and she was looking at her phone like she always does, talking to someone, and they were trying to hide the fact that I guess she had a boyfriend or she was dating someone from me. And I knew the whole time. Like always, people in my life, they don't realize they pay attention when I do pay attention, even when I'm not paying attention. So that was the dream, and it kind of stuck with me. I want to know what you think about it, Ash, if you got any thoughts.
Well, yeah. We recently had the Great Divide where we were called to choose to ascend with the new and live in love. And through that process, we had a lot of old things brought back up in a very, very final sort of way for us to let go of.
Makes sense, because the dreams I have, I never have dreams that are in like wild places or whatever. It's always with people in my life or people that were in my life. And a lot of them, they don't talk in the dreams, and it's me standing up for myself in those dreams. I've had a lot of those in the past couple weeks.
Yeah, that's your soul doing shadow work in the dream realm. It's happening for a reason.
Okay, and I'll go into a story, because I brought a story too. So I was driving one time down this highway, and I was following a semi. I was like trying to figure out whether or not I wanted to pass or not. I was just chilling, and then I was like, maybe I'll pass. And then all of a sudden, like, I went through this scenario. I was passing in my car, like I was there passing in my car, and then the guy threw on his blinker at the last minute, and I had to get out of the way so he could get into the lane. So then it flashed back where I'm behind the guy now, and I sat there, and like 30 seconds after I sat there and chilled, his blinker went on and he went into the left lane. So the exact same thing I saw happened right in front of me. It was wild.
That is wild.
Vinny, if I may,
Yes.
what did you
Ed,
take home from that? What did you learn? What did that show you?
it showed me that if I stay present enough and connect, that the answers will come to me. That's what it ultimately showed me. A glimpse of what I could become, because that was early on in my spiritual journey, so I still was making sense of everything.
Thank you.
I agree that our dreams are reflections on what we need. They're messages. They usually come in mysteries. Unless we just ask for plain sight. And usually when I do that is when it just, whatever the encounter is, literally speaks to me and says, look, this is what you need to do. And it just makes sense. That's been my experience in learning how to take control of my dreams per se. But if you're having the dreams, if you're not remembering a lot of your dreams, Vinny, the ones that you are, those are definitely the important ones, for sure. So, I love you, man. So, go ahead,
Can
Robin.
I ask a question? Oops.
Yes.
I apologize. Go ahead, Rabanus.
Everyone can.
I'll wait.
No, go ahead, Ash. Go ahead. Your question is probably more important than mine.
No, my question was actually to Innovision. So if yours is to Vinny, I need to allow you to go first.
I see. Yes, Vinny. So you said you started this, that you had that clairvoyance experience in your beginning portions of your spiritual journey. How far along have you come that you've noticed any other abilities or any other things that you've come along and have they
I've been to answer you this question, I've been doing this for like 4 years now. And along those 4 years, I've learned that, I'm empathic, I'm claircognizant, I'm clairaudient. I can talk to animals, I can channel poetry. I've learned a lot about myself, and it's been a wild journey, and I'm constantly learning new things every day, including the things that were done to me, which those are even wilder stories. The things that nobody knows that they did behind my back that they thought nobody would know. I found out everything. It was wild.
Okay, cool. I'm glad to see that you're moving forward.
Ash, would you like to ask your question now?
Mela, I wanted to talk about the telepathic thing and was wondering if you thought that would fit, because I feel like it would be a good addition to this conversation.
It is a part of everyone's awareness that we are where we are. And we are who we are. It is completely off topic.
Thank you. With gratitude. So, with that said, I will withhold that one for another topic of conversation. um, I will say that in fitting with the current topic, I have an owl that has decided to come in tonight and deliver messages. That's what I got.
Ooh, owls are very mysterious. I've came encounters with some owls before that it was just nice because they really just were majestic. They would just really just sit there, and it's always really strange when they turn their head all the way to the side and they're looking at you. But and when they don't fly off, it's just really cool. But owls are awesome. I would like to say hi to Robin and to Azrael, and we're talking about spiritual creatures, which is it's just an umbrella for mythical creatures, or more likely interdimensional creatures, and also spirit animals, pets. So, Robin, would you like to speak about your encounters and how they've impacted you in your spiritual journey?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This is kind of wild because I did a reading on my live the other day, and my guides were just telling me like, no, we're gonna use the spirit animal deck, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I love how energy, like that's one way, like energy doesn't lie, right? So anything that like usually winds up getting brought up or like getting shown light to is like so on point. And I was in awe with like how much all of it resonates, like when with our connection, like with nature and with animals, and like every animal represents like something different, right, in our life. And we can have more than one spirit animal guide or whatever you would like to say. And I didn't even know like some of the meanings for like some of the animals, like what they actually represent is so freaking profound. Like I'm getting chills right now. And I wanted to also comment on your owls. Do you know owls have really long legs?
Yes,
I
they're
did not know
adorable.
that.
Yes. They have
Yeah.
got like really long legs. Like so animals, my dog is gonna start putting her 2 cents in. No, but animals have really, really long legs. Actually, they just crouch down. Like you know how like when you're a kid and you like put your t-shirt around your knees and it goes down to your ankles and you're just like squatted down. That's kind of what owls do.
Nice.
Yeah. So I get a lot of ladybugs in my life. And I've looked them up. I've looked up a couple meanings, and they never really say the same thing. And I realized after my aunt passed away that, because that was her favorite animal, and she, like, I literally had like 2 ladybugs that came out of my purse, like, like 2 days after she passed. And I was like, what in the world? Like, where did they come from? Right. And I'm like, that's her. But then, like, I realized that she stands for so many different aspects of my life. And so I think that's kind of like, it seems like the timing that I look up what a ladybug represents matches like the time that I'm going through, if that makes sense.
It does. And people find that in a lot of meanings of a different animals that they come in contact with. Just it's like seeing these repetitive things happen and documenting them, and then being able to see it happen in application. And when we become more aware of these patterns, for instance, it's kind of everything is attracted to certain resonance, and as you're radiating out that energy that you are, it's going to attract these messages naturally that we can find repetitive throughout nature. So I can see 100% how all that can play out, just through animals, through all aspects of energy exchange, really. I appreciate you, Robin. You're amazing in this community. You're amazing. Would you like to just I'd like to give a shout out for you. I know you do guided meditations. Do you have a schedule for that? Would you like to speak about that?
I can, yeah. So I usually, I haven't been as consistent with my schedule lately with everything that's been going on, but Tuesdays and Thursdays is when I was going to start doing them again, and then on Sundays. I have also decided that, like, I'll do the regular one that I have done often, where you can meet your spirit guides. But then I think for the other meditations, the other kind of guided meditations that I've come up with, I'm going to do those as like subscriber only, just for, like energy purposes, I guess, if that makes sense. And then I'm also in the process of completing my YouTube channel, and I just created my website that people will be able to book with me for like tarot, mediumship, Reiki, energy healing, that kind of thing as well. Thank you.
Thank you. I know Eddie O led me onto this, but there's something called Linktree that it's free, and you could set up and put it in your bio, and it'll actually link to all the different applications, YouTube and those things, and it makes it a lot easier. So try to look that up. It's called Linktree.
Okay, I didn't know that it did all that, because I know I had a Linktree in my profile at one point in time, but I didn't like explore all of it. But now I will definitely go review it again. Thank you.
Yeah, I really don't expand onto a lot of applications, so I don't have Linktree. But for people that do, as far as YouTube and different things, it's very helpful. So yeah, it's just something that kind of combines them all into one area for links, which is nice. I want to go down to Azrael, and you've kind of heard about what the topic is, and I wanted to see if you would like to discuss anything that you would like to about the topic, some things that have impacted you in your spiritual life.
Well, I do, but I think I might have a bad connection. I don't know if you can hear me good.
I can hear you just fine.
It's because I lost my headphone chargers yesterday. I went to the Theosophical Society, and I left my headphone charger on a chair. But yeah, I really don't know too much about spiritual animals. I do follow them. I have books about it, and I read them, but I don't know off the bat anything. But you know what? I do want to ask a question, because I was always curious about like a wolf and everything, and I found it associated that I was, but you know what? I wasn't, because recently I was like in this type of astral projection type of scenario, and I was in some confusion, some chaotic stuff was happening, and a horse showed up, and I don't know how it happened, but the horse was able to get me out of that trouble. You know what I'm saying? So I was in trouble, and the horse presented itself, and I was like, wow, I always wanted a horse. I always wanted a horse. And it was saying, you know what, you idiot, I was always with you. So every time that I was always thinking it was a wolf, it was never a wolf, it was a horse, and the horse was telling me that every time that you were able to escape from scenarios and stuff like that, you were never alone. I was always here. And it's like it was trying to tell me that it will grab me, and I don't ride the horse, but you know what? The horse was always taking me places. Like, like if I was at the wrong place at the wrong time, it will take me, so that way I will not be at that specific place. So I don't know if you guys know anything about horses, and I will be able to think a lot more clear as soon as I'm not behind the wheels. My friend is, so I'm able to talk. So yes, so if anybody could chime in on the meaning of a horse, and am I right with this? What it was telling me.
Does anybody have some input on maybe what the horse meaning is? I mean, usually honestly, everything is individual, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a really profound meaning behind it. Innovision, I saw your mic flash. Go ahead.
A horse, in my opinion, represents loyalty. Horses are wild and free. They love their experience and what they do. And we've learned this very young, learn to capture a horse in a loving way, in a righteous way. That horse will in turn become a bond. It will recognize us as a part of themselves. A horse has purpose with every move they make, whether it is playing, working, or just grazing. They appreciate every moment of their existence without judgment or any form of human interaction. They do what they do because that is what they do. They are very loyal. When they become a part of any one of us, they are very loyal to you. They want to love you. They want to see you smile. They feel you. You can feel them. It is an equal exchange, just as any other creature in this world. They're strong. Look at them. Oh, when you look at them, you want to be them. This is natural. It's an admiration. It is a respect. It is love. Their strength. You look at them and all you see is their muscle, their strength, in my sense. I know. So yes, pay attention to what the horse is telling you. He does not speak our language.
And thank you, Innovision, because it resonates. And the thing about it is that my mind, myself, I always wanted, like I said, associate with the wolf. But as you were talking, one thing that resonated was the blue. Even though the blue is a little different than the real, dark blue. As a kid, I made a painting of a blue horse. The horse was literally blue, and that's what I called it. And maybe now that you were talking, I put that voice, which is your voice, into the horse, and it was able to allow me to like understand it. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you wording it out, because I think you just gave me a download, a real beautiful download. I appreciate it.
I personally appreciate it as well. Go ahead, Robin.
You're welcome. Let's just say you're welcome.
That was beautiful, by the way, Innovision. I love to hear you talk. um, so if I could say like energetically, I feel like in that place that you were in when you were being rescued by this horse, I feel like it kind of goes back to the one. It may have helped you like in past lives. Like I feel like you were some sort of like soldier or something on a horse, and but then knowing that that's what you've wanted since you were younger, so it kind of would represent like your peace of like and your innocence of like the inner child, and here comes like your not knight in shining armor, but you know what I'm saying, like on a horse, like to rescue you, and it's telling you like I've been here. You save yourself many times, and that is what you really, really find as being peaceful and safe. That's why you've wanted a horse for so long, right? Because they're just beautiful to you, and they are just peaceful. They're really smart. If you think about a horse understands and they can be trained, right? But they also have like some sort of like feeling and emotion. I posted a video the other day about two horses that hadn't seen each other for a long time, and then they saw each other and they were like, rubbing each other's neck or whatever. They're very compassionate, empathetic, if you will. And I think that just kind of represents like that's your safety, that's your protection.
Thank you, Robin. I actually made it home, so I'm able to be a little bit more calm. But I do agree. I just like we talk about letting go of the ego and such, and my ego was telling me to associate with a wolf, and like I said, what I just mentioned with the horse, and that was always there. It was always in my subconscious, that horse. And what you yourself is saying, and what Innovision also included, makes a lot of sense, that I never accepted it. You understand what I'm saying? It was always there. It was a present. That was something that I always wanted as a kid, and I always associated with it. But I thought to myself, living in the city, I can never have a horse. So I detached myself from that spiritual animal. You understand? My pride or my ego, just said, you know what, I can't have a horse. So I shunned it away. But recently, it was like chaos. There was so much stuff happening. And what you guys are just telling me right now freaking makes sense. It's like an instant recognition. I don't even know how to, confirmation, instant confirmation.
Well, and we have many different spirit animals, or at least this is just my perspective. If it's okay to share, I I believe that we all have many different spirit animals, kind of like a team, right? And there's times when some of them are leaving and new ones are coming in. There's ones that we have had like for like all this lifetime, maybe even past lifetimes. And then there's some that I feel come in like when the others need backup, and then they kind of just go their separate ways, and then they'll come back if they need to. And the only reason I feel that way is because of the way the deck of cards, my spirit animal oracle deck, the way it reads and the way that the cards wind up laying, like coming out of the deck when I shuffle them. We all need different characteristics and different things representing us in different parts of our life. We need courage more in this instance than we do. We need patience. We need love. We need, transition, being able to like do the transitions easily. So I feel like each animal, the way it represents things is for different parts of our journey that we go through. So we're always changing, and so is our spirit team. So is our army that stands behind us,
Agree. And you know what? I'm very talkative, but for some reason, when I'm around you guys, Fire Ash, Rabanis, Innovision, and Crystal Chris, your energy is so different that you guys actually put me like calm. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't, like you guys are like warriors. I'm saying you guys are warriors that I feel like a baby amongst you guys, that you guys are protectors. and and I just want you guys to know that it's kind of strange feeling because this is like my second time I come in here in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I feel more of like a child in a sense. I don't know if you guys understand, and I'm very verbal and stuff like that. But you guys like are beautiful, and I appreciate you guys. I just want to tell you that.
Azrael, you're appreciated. You're amazing. I've known you for over a year, and we've had some amazing discussions. You're a part of that energy. When you come in, you're right there with that vibe. And we all learn from each other. We all grow together. So I just want to say that as well. You are very appreciative, and you don't let anything ever hold you back, because I've been in your lives, and when you're talkative, there's nothing wrong with feeling comfortable and calm and just being peaceful, but when you're talkative, you have amazing things to say, so please don't ever let anything hold you back.
The thing about it, like I said, I'm here and I'm able to voice it, and I want to voice it, is that you guys, I look up to you guys. It's strange. And Robin, as a witness, I feel that you guys are elders, for some reason. I might be a younger soul than you guys, and I like look up to you guys. Even I'm gonna yield. I don't want to take off.
Man, I don't want you to feel insecure about what you're saying and what you're feeling, and I recognize, I understand, I get it. It's just the energy shift that's been a recent thing that makes it feel more prominent, and nobody here I'm not gonna sit here and make you flounder when I understand exactly what you're talking about. It's why I tell people,
Well, I feel like, let's say I'm a nephew. Okay, so I feel like the nephew, and I went to the grown up table, and I'm just embarrassed, not embarrassed, but shy. It's kind of hard to say. You guys together are a beautiful presence. You know what I'm saying? The love that you guys have shown and grown together. I'm part of you guys, but I know, but I'm saying that the connection that you guys got, I can feel it's so beautiful, and it's I can't explain it. It's so, I'm going to write it down. I'm going to write it down, and then I'm going to share, I won't be able to do it right now, but I'm going to explain to you guys what I feel. And it's different. It's not bad. It's just respect type of difference. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's like
acknowledgement.
they ground you guys have a grounding energy and like a very like wise and like almost like prophetic feel, if that like, I don't even know if that's the right word, but like you guys literally have so much wisdom amongst you guys, and you guys are very careful with like the way you word things, and you're very calm in your voices, and you're very connected, and like you don't let people disturb your peace. And I think that is like, it's very, for some people, including myself, that can be very intimidating sometimes, because we're like, wait, whoa, like I don't even know if I belong here, because I'm a little out there sometimes and a little chaotic, and I don't have as much self-control, it may seem, and you guys are literally like the wise ones.
That's exactly what it is. That's it. Because I'm very, I'm like, I don't get too emotional. I don't get too emotional, like, when stuff happens, and and you guys like open me up, and I'm comfortable. I'm not uncomfortable. I just never felt this open feeling, like, I'm vulnerable. That's the word, vulnerable. sense. You know, it's like an unconditional love, you know, that it's genuine, and I could feel it from you guys. And that's, you know, like I said, I can't put it in words. I'm gonna have to write it down somehow and explain it. But it's so much unconditional love going in this panel that it's just feels like home. That's what it is. It feels like home.
I love you, AZ. I'm gonna call you AZ for real, but right now, but because you always keep it real in every aspect. You always have, and that's something to be extremely appreciated about. Because being original, I mean, that's what we have. That's us. That's like when we're not original, we're not faking anybody. We're faking our own subconscious mind. It's ridiculous. Like, it's just being ourselves. And when we are ourselves, being ourselves, flowing in that energy, our own true knowledge will come out. We become aware of so much. We become aware of ourselves so much. Even aspects of what we're ingesting in the moment, and seeing the cause and effects of these things. It just, all those things bring awareness. I know it's getting off topic, but I don't know where else to go with this, to be honest. Does anybody else have anything that they would like to add to as far as the topic tonight, or should we do a round of final thoughts? I know everybody needs to make sure they give a shout out to either themselves or anything that they might have going on, or friends, family. If they need some direct energy somewhere, just for help, it's a community, and that's what we do. So if there's something out there, don't forget to, which I don't know that there is, it's always a good opportunity, whenever you can. But I guess we'll just go with some final thoughts. Innovision, do you have any final thoughts for tonight on the topic, or anything you would like to leave everybody with some inspiration?
Brother, thank you for the recognition, as I do thank you, Azrael, Robin, Vinny, Robinus, Mana of Ashley, Chris, always, and those in the comments. I feel you. You may question me. I know. I love questions. Please ask. In any sense of the word final thoughts, no. I know that it is an aspect of concluding our time together tonight. But there is no final thought amongst us. We are together. And these words we speak are just that. I know that there are those amongst us who thrive on being recognized, thrive on being a part of something that is not themselves. And I would encourage you to reach out and expand. Yes, expand. When we focus our attention on one thing, it becomes that. And we are also limited by that. these creatures of the night, of the day, that we are all a part of, and they are all a part of you. We can hold them to our own understanding of where we are. But you discount the fact that you have created something that which you cannot control. And what do we do about that when we figure out that this thing that we have created is out of our control? It is bigger than any one of us. We have a choice. And that is presented to us by these creatures, if you will. They are asking us to choose, just as any one of us would ask you to choose, just as I would ask you to choose. Whether or not, what does that mean? Whether or not. We hold ourselves to these truths that we hold dear. We hold ourselves to these limitations that we have become so intrigued, so utterly dependent on, because we have to be there, right? We have to be there. We have to do this thing. And I would ask you to do one thing wherever you go. And you already know what it is. Quiet the mind. Focus on your intention. And do what is right. And when I say right, know that there is no wrong. That righteousness, that right is who you are. It is where you are. It is what you're doing. And in case you don't forget, smile. Smile. Don't wear that mask that they tell us to wear. That new world order. If you see someone wearing that mask, smile. Show them what it's like without it. Even though I'm not here, I am here. Do what you feel is right for you. I will. It is with love and appreciation that you are even here, as I am. Thank you.
Thank you, Vision. I, I definitely have a smile on my face. And I was giggling at the moment you were giggling when you stated that there is no final thoughts. And I instantly thought of there is fluent thoughts. And we see that constantly through these groups, especially this one right here. I appreciate you tremendously. So thank you. Fire Ash, would you like to speak of some final thoughts of tonight? Obviously, there's no true final thoughts, but just of the particular moment on this topic.
The spiritual creatures. The spiritual creatures. Hey, yo, I told you I wasn't gonna let that one go the other night when we were talking about this topic. So, yeah.
I'm laughing.
I know you are. Guys, absolutely love doing these every Sunday, guys. My Oracle thing, it's, I'm always going to be an Oracle. I know that. I'm always going to love that aspect of me. It's just, I have a calling right now. And that calling is very, very much so taking me through a different path. So the oracles, I think I'm going to just set aside one day a week when I figure out what I want to do it, when I want to do it. I'll put a promo out for you guys. I still want to be able to do the collectives and yeah, because that aspect's always going to be there for me. I just have a different focus point, right? And I'm pretty excited about it, so yeah. Anyway, that's what I have on that. The spiritual creatures, well, truth be told, I recognize the creature in all of us, right? The human in all of us. And vice versa. That's the beauty of it, when you listen to, like, everything that we've talked about tonight. No matter the shape, the form, the size, the dimension, the plane, the reality. There's all that baseline vibration of love. Unconditional love, right? Companionship. The presence of the divine in our everyday existence. Talked about the vibration, how things are changing and feeling. Yeah. There is no one up here that does not face every facet and every aspect of themselves the same way I do. And that's the beauty of it. I walk in love. I live in it. Much love, guys. Have a great night. Thank you. See you again next Sunday. Same time, same place. Look forward to it.
Thank you, Ash. I appreciate you tremendously. You've been a really good friend of mine for ever since I've met you, really. And I do want to give a shout out to her oracle. When she decides to do, the once a week, don't miss it. Be there. Look for that promo because her collectives are amazing. I'm usually can find my way there, and I leave with something every time. It's something to be proud of. That's all I'm saying. So it's recognized. I just want you to know that. Urbanus, I'd like to go to you and see what your final thoughts are for tonight and what you'd like to leave with the people tonight.
Well, I am grateful for everyone that's here tonight. You, Chris, Fire Ash, Vision, Robin, Vinny, AZ, AT, you're late. Beth, Edio, everyone in the comments. I really appreciate your information that I've gotten through over, I guess, more than a year now that I've known a lot of you. It's crazy how time flies. I really enjoyed this topic, spiritual creatures. If I wasn't tired, I think we could probably go all night on this one, truthfully. But things must always come to an end. Well, not always. We're eternal. I want to leave you guys with the knowing that you may not feel that you're there yet. I know I sure feel that way sometimes. But don't compare yourself to any other person's path that they're on. You have your own. And you'll get where you need to be. Always. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you, Urbanus. And you're correct. Always take what resonates with you. And if nothing resonates with you, that's perfectly fine. Don't let that set back, because it's your path. It's my path. It's our path, and our paths can intertwine. So I appreciate you, brother. Robin, do you have any final thoughts on tonight's topic, and just anything you want to leave with anybody for all of us here tonight?
Sure. Such wonderful things are being said tonight, and I'm in awe with all of it. We are all creatures, whether it's sometimes we're a little bit more of this than that, but we're all one and connected. Like, we are connected to the earth, we are connected to the sky, we are connected to the solar system, we're connected to it all, we're connected to animals, we have that connection for a reason, and we resonate with things because we're supposed to at that moment. And it's not a label. It's not, something that somebody projects onto us. When we have that connection, it's a genuine connection and it's for a purpose. And allow yourself to just sit with it. Allow yourself to fully embody whatever it is that is supposed to be going on and being presented to you, and that you're being shown, whether it's, the patience or the awareness or the stillness, the observation, whatever it is, just allow yourself to fully be that in that moment. And come from a place with love with everything you do, and there's no such thing as failing. I think that's what I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. I appreciate you. We all do. And everybody here speaks truth. We all speak from our heart. Our minds are connected within our heart. It all comes from love. And that's why we all say to find, what resonates with yourself, with myself. Because we have that awareness that there's a cause and effect to everything. And we all have to be aware that all paths can also have a polarity to them with other paths. And if we all have that awareness, then we can accept what we need to accept in our path. So I appreciate all of you, including you, Vinny. So I've known Vinny for, honestly, you're like the first person that I ever had a conversation with on TikTok, like probably 2 years ago. And you're an awesome guy. Do you have any final thoughts on tonight, and just anything you want to leave? Maybe even a poem. I know you've recently picked that back up, and I know that you do post a lot of your poems on your content. So
it's not that I recently picked it up. It's the skill that I've developed, and I'm currently writing a book, and I'm almost done with it. So before I start with that, I just want to say that everybody on this panel, you are all, whether or not anybody's told you this or whether or not you realize it, you're all special, amazing individual souls. And without you, this world would be a lot darker of a place and a lot more confusing. So I thank you for all of everyone who's here, even in the comments, because this is my third time here and we're building something and I enjoy it. The energy in here is amazing, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. So, all that being said, going to my poem. Life hasn't always been balanced. Because of this, I've learned many talents, like how to smile through the pain. If you count the scars that no one can see, you learn that how much pain has been inflicted on me. I used to be shy and quiet, most of the times not willing to overcome fear and doubt or even try it. I've been ridiculed and laughed at till it made me more self-conscious and full of fears. I've been brought to tears with nowhere to hide. I feel like I want to be invisible, disappear, or even die. As I try to dry my eyes, I feel broken and small. There's times I didn't want to get up at all. I shut down and worried and thought I wouldn't make it through this. Despair, this feeling of not feeling enough. I wait and I cry and I plead as emotionally I bleed. These scars, they hurt and they sting. All this trauma I must face and go through. I fought and clawed against the current, only to be overcome in the stormy seas inside my mental ocean. I've tried many times to overcome these traumas and fears for years, through all the trials, tests, and tears. It was only when I let go of this anger and rage, that's when everything changed. I had to reevaluate what I went through. All those times where I chose to bury or lock away, all these traumas and tears. I've replaced my tears with parties and beers. Whatever I didn't drink away, I could find another way to burn away all my self-doubt. It was when I was most lost that I would find ways to numb the fears. Drugs seemed to work. This false sense of connection and comfort, but with every spark of the flame, it never changed. Your problems would worsen or stay the same. It's maddening to think how unbalanced and destructive I can truly be. That's what happened when I let this fear fester inside of me. At times I thought I was through. At first the path seemed straight and the right one to go through. But every time it starts new, it quickly turns ugly and I have to scramble because I'm through. When I couldn't take it anymore, this madness of choices I've been through, that's when I was alone and I could finally hear you. At first it was subtle, and as I focused and looked towards the light, I knew I finally did something right. It became louder and warm and inviting. No more wrestling or fighting with fear. My path has become clear. I will step outside with power and grace, while spreading peace and love with the biggest smile on my face. For I know now that I've been saved by His grace.
Thank you. That was honestly, that was amazing. It's very deep.
Been told to own my story, and that's the poem that owns my story.
It's good to be able to express these things the way you do as well. It's a reminder to yourself, and it's gonna it'll bring you a lot. It'll bring you good emotions. There's different words that can go with that emotion, but it's a reminder of what you've achieved, where you've been, where you're heading, and where you're going, and where you're at right now. It's beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate that. Azrael, do you have any final thoughts for tonight?
Sure. When I came into this live, I wasn't sure where I was going to go with it. And when I mentioned the horse, how beautiful it felt when the words were describing the specific animal. The whole room and everybody in the comments embraced me, and I've gained a lot of visions, and when I say visions, I gained several downloads. I don't know, they just came to me. That's why I was very emotional, because it was as I was listening in, as everybody was contributing to this discussion here tonight, I envision, just like Innovision said, whether or not, and that hit me, because I thought about it, because no matter in stillness or in chaos, we are all connected like knots. You know what I'm saying? So we're interconnected like knots. So that stuck to me. I was like, whether or not, like Innovision stated, and that came to me, and I envisioned it, and I seen it, and I was like, wow, you're correct, man. We're all tied, and the interconnection of all of us here tonight is so beautiful. And as we all spread this love throughout the whole community here in TikTok, or even out here, I don't know how to distinguish the TikTok community and the real world, because this is the real world, no matter how you discuss it. But tonight's discussion, the spiritual creatures, or as we discuss spiritual animals, it hits me again. And I'm like, you know what? As I am all, we all as in me. So when we talk about animals, we are like animals, because we could become that protector, a lion or a dragon or something, to protect those that we love, or we can be mindful and compassionate and become like a cat or a dog and give unconditional love to one another. So this is deep. I like to look at these things in a different perspective. And that's, like I said, I get sentimental because I do have emotions, and I try not to have these emotions because I'm always trying to be a protector of the community. But you guys allow me to put down my guard and not be a protector because I felt protected amongst you guys. And that is the truth, and that is my word, and that's the best way I can describe the emotions that I was feeling, that I was able to finally let down my guard and allow myself to be amongst you guys. And I don't have to worry about somebody ruining this for us. And I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the discussion. And I thank you guys once again. Much love, much gratitude. Each one of you, I embrace you, and thank you so much for this opportunity.
Aho.
Yeah, that was awesome. Oh, and sometimes, people get so crazy about the people that they care about that they actually take a shot pew pew out and try to protect the ones they care about. I have no idea who would do that, but
We don't have to reflect on the past, Rabanus.
I just thought it was funny.
So I'll give some final thoughts on the topic tonight myself. Everyone has had some amazing stories they've contributed to tonight, and explanations on just things that happen in these situations, and like, we have spirit animals, but a lot of spirit animals are deep in nature. I live in the city now, which I like to an extent, but I love nature. The city I live in, it's a small city per se, so it's got nature on the outskirts, so I'm able to get there pretty quickly myself. But our pets, the things that we surround ourselves, our lives with, that's where we have this equal exchange, just like Azrael was talking about. We're helping them just as much as they're helping us, and it can go the opposite direction. It's all about how our intentions are, what they're set at, what energy you're projecting out. That's the energy they're gonna feel. Don't get me wrong. The animals that are around you, and they've felt that love for so long, they're gonna try to transmute that energy for you, and they do. It helps and it works. But we do the same thing when our pets are not feeling well. We sense that, we know that, we help them, we do the things that we need to do for them, and it's all out of the act of love. That love emotion moves us in amazing ways, and it always will. There's incidents where people have claimed that love has moved them in ways that things they shouldn't have done, and it happens because we become passionate, and it just, we try to protect our loved ones, which can create an act against other things, even other people. Everything's situational, but love, it's no excuse to not have that love. The love is amazing. You should always protect your loved ones, and hopefully those situations don't ever come to be. But just, on my final thoughts, I always reflect on love, and it's this energy that everybody creates in these spaces, because you could be in a bad mood and come in these situations, and it's going to transmute it. Give it 20 minutes, and you're going to think about the positive things in life while you're here. So with that being said, come join us. We're here every Sunday, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We go for between 2 to 3 hours. We always have great spiritual discussions, different topics every week, and everyone's welcome to join. We do have one rule that you have to be following the account prior and or friends with one of the moderators. That's always usually up in the panel as well. I myself am a moderator. This is a joint account, so all moderators are also will be hosting from time to time, but we will be here every Sunday. So everyone is welcome to join and voice their views, and we all grow together. So I just want to say I hope everyone has a wonderful evening, and AT was here. I think he's still here. I want to give him a shout out. Don't forget to join his lives Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for the inspiration of the way that he has a wonderful format, and it's inspired a lot of people to host, I believe, in my opinion. So seeing a safe place out there has inspired a lot of other people to create these wonderful spiritual safe places. So just wanted to give him a shout out for that. And I'm gonna say goodnight. Everyone can open their mic up and say goodnight, and love you guys.
Good night.
In
Go ahead.
conjunction with Spiritual Talk, we do post these on YouTube. So if you want to go back and look at previous weeks, you can.
Yes, thank you. I forget to point that out. Every episode that we've ever had is on YouTube, and it's the same name content. I'm gonna figure out a link tree and put it on, so we have it might be in our bio already. I can't remember if I put it in there or not, but I think it's already in the bio of this account. So definitely check it out. I've listened to 3 of them, and just while I'm hanging out and chilling out. So it brings a lot of reminders to the conversation and brings even more inspiration. So love you guys.
One more time. One more time. Reach out. Reach out. Reach out. You are not alone. With love, always.
Love you, Innovision. All right, everyone have a wonderful night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, guys. Love you guys.
Thank you so much.